Most contractors stay stuck following outdated ways to grow their businesses without realizing how easy making $1 million can be. After I discovered this simple method, it skyrocketed my commercial contracting business to $1 million in commercial deals. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact system I use to break out from the grind of chasing the jobs that barely paid the bills, so that you can go from $0 to $1 million in commercial contracting deals. To start, I have to tell you the biggest lie that keeps contractors stuck below $1 million and how to make sure it doesn't trap you. When I started out as a commercial contractor, I had no idea how to get commercial deals. So I tried marketing everywhere, posting on every platform. People even told me to cold call businesses and ask for work, which only led to people ghosting me. But once I ignored following the old marketing tactics and put my effort into marketing my company on LinkedIn alone, my results have been insane. I've made over $1 million following this exact blueprint, and I can't express how excited I am to be able to share it with you here today. But you're probably thinking, why LinkedIn? Does it really work for contractors? Let me show you 3 reasons it'll crush the old school methods everyone tells you to follow. Number 1, it puts you in front of hundreds of decision makers who see you every week. Number 2, you can build a repeatable system that'll turn LinkedIn into a predictable lead gen system. Number 3, it's an ecosystem, not just a LinkedIn page. It runs on the effort that you put in. But before I show you the exact steps in this blueprint, let me show you the first step on how to go from $0 to $1 million as a commercial contractor. And it has nothing to do with LinkedIn. I used to look at those big commercial contractors making 7 figures and think that they had something special, some inside secret. Turns out it wasn't a secret. The real game changer was following what most companies have done for decades and picking one thing and sticking with it until it snowballs. But the truth is, most contractors quit LinkedIn at the first sign of slow results instead of sticking to the long term. The reason why I've made $1 million on LinkedIn is because I changed my mindset on how I used to think. But how can contractors do that? To start, realize it's a marathon and not a sprint. Don't put pressure on yourself that you got to hit some crazy number every month. Just stay consistent and the results will come. It's inevitable because that mindset removes pressure and builds resilience. You should be okay with going 12 months following this blueprint to a T. And I think contractors can overestimate what they can do in 3 months and underestimate what they can do in 3 years. Because year 1 may feel like nothing's working, but the following year, you're going to see the results from the previous one. And then year 3 or 4, things just start compounding and you'll have a system dialed in and LinkedIn will become your money printer. Next, you're going to have to get rid of the idea that you need to go about this alone. And one of the best ways to do this is to surround yourself with support. It helps to have guys around you who get it. Look for contractor groups on LinkedIn, Discord groups, or even find a few buddies doing the same thing so that you can keep each other on track. It'll be way easier to stay motivated. And now you both are winning jobs because of it. Now that you understand the only way to get LinkedIn to work is having a long-term mindset, let me show you the first step you need to go from a 0 to $1 million as a commercial contractor. When I first started on LinkedIn, I tried to offer every service under the sun just to keep busy, but none of it landed me commercial work. But once I picked one area to be known for, I landed my first $20,000 project, all because I knew I could deliver on their specific needs. Here's the thing. Commercial clients don't care if you also work on houses as a residential contractor. They need to know that you are their trusted advisor for their commercial buildings or properties. So to get ahead of the other 99% of contractors on LinkedIn, update your services to show specifically that you're a commercial contractor. It's that simple. But showing you're a commercial contractor is only the first step. You need to follow this next step to go from 0 to $1 million as a commercial contractor. Back when I first got on LinkedIn, I didn't understand how to attract clients to win commercial deals. I thought if I sent enough connection requests, the work would follow, but that never happened. So I tried to understand what caught the attention of the people I was trying to connect with. That's when I noticed something. They interacted with the same people all the time because they trusted them, rather than just some random contractor. One of the first commercial deals I won was from a vice president who managed a large office building. He had been following my content and the value I shared built enough trust that we actually never met in person. But he had no problem handing me a $75,000 interior project. So you can't just send connection requests and expect results. You have to post content to build trust, to ever get noticed to win big commercial projects. But what kind of content builds trust? Let me show you the top 4 proven ways contractors can leverage content to build trust. Number 1 is real-world stories. Share lessons from the jobs you've done. Each project has a story. Example, this would be, a while back, we repainted a medical office where the client's biggest issue was scheduling. They couldn't shut down during business hours, so we came in after hours, and they didn't lose a single day of operation. That's the kind of story to share. It shows you understand the real business needs and can deliver around them. Number 2 is myth busting. Correct common misconceptions like the lowest bids always wins, and educate your audience around that topic. Number 3 is posting short videos about practical tips. Examples would be posting before and afters of a recent project. And number 4, results you have delivered. Focus on outcomes like reducing tenant complaints during projects, controlling costs, and making property managers look good. So when you're consistently sharing insights on one subject, you'll start to get noticed as a local expert, not just another contractor. And post 2 or 3 times a week. Videos that get the best engagement are 1 minute to 2 minutes in length. And then just refine your topics based on what people engage with the most. Now that you see content is what builds trust over time, you need to follow the next step to go from 0 to $1 million as a commercial contractor. I used to jump on LinkedIn and just scroll the feed, totally lost, thinking, what's all this stuff about? And then one day I stopped and started checking out the posts and the comments. And honestly, almost nobody was commenting. And it made sense why. Remember that old saying? Stranger danger. But it turns out that's where the gold mine is hiding. I remember the day I tried it, and I left a quick comment on a post from a regional manager at a shopping center. She was talking about the local community. I just chimed in with something honest. She replied, we had a chat back and forth, and out of nowhere, she remembers a commercial repaint project that she needed to have done. That one comment landed me a $55,000 job. That's no joke. The problem is contractors are skipping over the super simple way to get noticed by the exact people handing out those commercial jobs. Okay, so here's what you got to do. First, scroll the LinkedIn feed for 10 minutes. Literally just set a timer. You're just looking for posts from people that are in your area or about your trade. Then when you spot something, leave a comment. Like, hey, that's something I see all the time in office buildings. Or we fixed that before by working after hours so the tenants don't even notice. Finally, ask a simple question like, how do you handle planning work like this? Done. Keep it real, nothing fancy. And here's the cool thing. Your comments show up in front of everyone else they're connected with. And next thing you know, more people know you and you start getting messages from people you've never even met. So now that you see commenting on your ideal client's posts will build long-term relationships, you have to follow this next step to go from 0 to $1 million as a commercial contractor. When I first started connecting with decision makers, I'd instantly ruin my chances at ever getting the opportunity to win commercial deals. I thought once I was connected with them, instantly DM them a sales pitch. The problem was nobody ever responded. Here's the thing. I've made $1 million on LinkedIn, and it wasn't because I'm good at manipulating people into doing what I want. It's because I care about building a relationship that works both ways. That's how B2B sales works. So you can't just pitch people as soon as you connect with them. You need to follow a structured message to start a conversation in the DMs. Here's my proven 4-step process to increase your chances of people responding. First, just tell them why you're reaching out. Secondly, mention a problem you've seen a lot. They'll probably have the same problem too. Thirdly, share a quick fix or suggestion. And lastly, ask a simple question so they actually want to reply. Here's what that may sound like. Hey Fred, notice you handle building maintenance at their company. A lot of these roofs get leaks nobody catches early. I do routine inspections so people don't get hit with surprise repairs. I got a checklist that you can follow to do an inspection. You want me to send it over? Or you can just simply ask them how they usually keep up with building maintenance on their roof. But here's the thing. Just listen to what they say and ask follow-up questions about the issues that pop up. Keep it natural. So now that you understand that sending sales pitches right away doesn't work, let's get you into the trick that'll actually get you from 0 to your first big commercial deal. Have you ever shaken someone's hand and thought, yikes, that was weak? It felt like a cold, limp, dead fish. And everyone hates that. Well, that's exactly the vibe a half-baked LinkedIn profile gives off. And you probably killed your shot at being considered for any project. I mean, if this is incomplete, how is your work? But when I actually took my profile seriously, and showed what I actually do, things changed fast. One of the biggest jobs I won on LinkedIn was a $100,000 exterior project because I proved that every detail matters, which is exactly what decision makers of large companies are looking for. There are 4 spots on your profile you gotta nail down, and I'm gonna walk you through each one real quick. Number 1, your profile picture. Get a clear headshot with a plain background. Trust me, it looks way better even if someone's scrolling in dark mode. Makes you look legit. Number 2 is your banner image. Throw up a photo from a commercial job you did and add a text like book an estimate right on the image. Nothing fancy, just lets them know you mean business and gives them somewhere to click. Number 3 is your featured section. This is where you drop stuff your clients care about, a photo or video of a project, whatever shows off your work. And number 4, your headline and about sections. Let's start with your headline first. Make it simple, like protecting California's commercial buildings, comma, industrial coatings and painting, comma, owner at Apex Coating. No guesswork, people know what you do. For your about section, back up your headline. Start with how long you've been doing this for and the kind of jobs you take on. Call out how most people wait too long for maintenance, but you help them stay ahead of the game. And then drop in what makes you different from everyone else. Next, toss in a quick win. Say how much time or money you've helped someone save. Then just say, shoot me a DM or hit my booking link and sign it off with your name, you're the owner, and the company name. Done. So your LinkedIn profile is kind of like your billboard. You want those big jobs? Clean it up, show real work, and let people know where to reach you. Next, let's talk about what to post that actually gets you noticed. Now that you understand your profile is a critical part of this blueprint, you can't miss this next part so you can go from 0 to $1 million as a commercial contractor. I used to waste time blasting out connection requests to everyone, but once I started researching and targeting the decision makers in my area, that's when the big projects came in. That switch is how I cracked 7 figures on LinkedIn. But the question is, how do you find the right people to connect with? So here's how to actually do that. And this part's dead simple. Step number 1, find local companies that own buildings. Go to the LinkedIn search and punch in your city plus the keywords like construction, development, or real estate. I always start with the biggest city around, then filter for your companies. When you're filtering companies, think of manufacturing, distribution, or auto shops. And step number 2 is look up the owners. Pop open the company page, hit the people's tab, and look for titles like owner, founder, CEO, president, basically anyone that calls a shot. And number 3 is grab an Excel sheet and jot stuff down like their name, their company, their LinkedIn URL link, when you reached out, if they accepted, and leave a spot for quick notes. This keeps it all in one place without scrambling to remember who's who. But here's the thing. Don't just fire off a bunch of invites. Take 30 seconds to read their profile or their company page, then send them something like, hey, Robert, saw you manage this company. I help local businesses with their commercial projects. I would love to connect. Just do this with 5 or 10 people each day, and suddenly your network is full of decision makers who will actually give you work. But connecting is just the beginning. If you want to actually land those big commercial jobs, you have to do this next step I'm about to show you. Recently, I connected with Greg on LinkedIn. He was frustrated nobody wanted to connect with him. And within a few questions, I figured out why. His engagement with people was just an afterthought. Most contractors do this. They barely interact with everyone, yet they're surprised when nobody wants to connect. So Craig needed help. He had 0 clues where to start. So I jumped on a quick call and built a simple plan to make him stand out as a legit contractor. I told him, if you hang out in groups where your ideal clients are, they'll actually notice you and start connecting. So he joined a couple LinkedIn groups connected to his industry. And here's what happened. Within a few weeks, his quality connections shot up just because he showed up and built trust first. But here's a question. How do you actually stand out in those LinkedIn groups? Start dropping comments on people's posts. Share a quick tip, be helpful, and not pushy. Look for groups like your local chamber of commerce or trade association. You want to be where your ideal clients are already spending time. So using groups to your advantage is hands down one of the best ways to get noticed and start building trust. But here's the part most guys miss. If you actually want leads coming in, you gotta nail down this next step to go from 0 to $1 million as a commercial contractor. If you ever gotten one of those weird LinkedIn messages from random strangers trying to pitch you out of nowhere, you know exactly how annoying it is, right? But one day, one of my connections liked one of my videos about project management. So I sent him a DM. He responded and asked me to meet him to take a look at a project. That was for a $20,000 gym repaint. Here's the deal. Most contractors fall into the spam trap. Their messages are an instant delete, but you got to flip it around and let those leads come to you so you can set yourself up to win $20,000 project. It starts by thinking of LinkedIn like a game. Every new like, new comment, or new reply puts the ball in your court to make the next move. And all you got to do is send them a quick DM. Say something like, hey, thanks for liking my posts. Anything stood out to you? That's it. You just need to start the conversation after they make their move. The more conversations you have with the people, the more you start building relationships, and that's how the deals follow. Now that you understand how to get real conversation started, this final step for me is probably the most important. I used to have the mindset of set it and forget it on LinkedIn. I'd slapped up my profile, threw up a couple posts, and sat back and waited for the phone to ring. But there's one job I'm always gonna remember. It was a $100,000 warehouse project, and I didn't win it because of luck. It happened because I kept showing up, updated my profile, and actually checked what was working. And you have to understand that the first version of anything is usually the weakest. It's the fourth or fifth time you refine it that it finally starts working. The thing is, contractors don't need a new strategy. They need to optimize what they already have. Start with reviewing your LinkedIn profile. Analyze the best performing posts. Study who's engaging with your content. Refine your outreach and follow up. Turn visibility into commercial jobs. So when you fix the weak spots, like your profile or how you follow up, that's when people start messaging you for commercial jobs. Here's the thing. Just be consistent on always trying to level up. Look at all the areas and use the blueprint here, all the steps I've given you to find the weakest ones where you can focus on and get moving. I just hope it works out.